Hello and welcome to Social Media Scoop. My name is Chioma Ebisi, your guide through the biggest conversations shaping Nigeria and the world as it unfolds online. From trending hashtags to tweets of world leaders to that Instagram post sparking nationwide conversations, this is where social media buzz meets real news. So stay with me as we unpack it one trend at a time. Welcome to The Scoop, the show that gives you all the truths behind all these stories buzzing online. On our first story today, Deji Adeyanju, political analyst and lawyer, has been ranting on social media in response to the lawsuit filed by Peter Obi. He has gone on a ranting marathon. Let's take a look at some of his posts and the hilarious reactions of Nigerians. He said on Facebook, if the opposition filled Obi, who is a religious bigot and a divisive politician in 2027, I will vote Tinubu in protest to prevent him and his mob of political extremists from going anywhere close to Aso Rock. And here's a Facebook reaction on this post. Facebook user Obona David said, Small yash de shake o. Imagine Deji assuming that his vote is enough to make or mar Peter Obi. Another reaction on X by Selki Medaja said, the whole thing is just noise. If Deji really had any evidence, he wouldn't be shouting on Twitter like a mad woman. He would drop it in court. Until then, it's just clout chasing gossip dressed up as activism. I have with me here in the house Emeka Opara, a journalist and a political analyst. Mr. Emeka, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
I could see you smiling already at this hilarious comment.
Indeed.
What do you think about Deji's rant on social media?
Well, personally, for me, I think it's beyond the ranting, because I understand that Deji Adeyanju is a lawyer.
Yes.
Who was called to bar maybe a year or two ago, if I'm not mistaken. So this goes beyond the ranting. As a lawyer, he should understand that in Nigeria's legal jurisprudence, the onus of proof lies on the accuser. All right. So he has defamed. Yeah. So I believe the next thing he should do is to gather up his evidences, which I believe that Mr. Peter Obi is waiting for, all right, to prove his case. All right, so that's it for me, really.
But some school of thought feel that this is just clout chasing and Peter Obi should just forget about it. These are the same people that are applauding Atiku for suing Loretta Onoche, but they're telling Peter Obi to let it slide. What are your thoughts on this? Peter
Obi should never let it slide, because you cannot defame someone and you expect the person. You cannot beat a child and then you stop the child from crying. It's not done. Deji Adeyanju should know better than defaming a man who has a reputation to protect, his hard-earned reputation. So it's not about, I believe that Peter Obi suing him was the right thing to do. It's just simple. Deji Adeyanju should stop ranting. He should go and bring up his evidences, and then Peter Obi is waiting.
This dispute has sparked a lot of conversations online, and we'll follow it as it unfolds.
Absolutely.
Moving on from political drama to a sad note, a mob killing in Niger State. A Muslim lady identified as Ameye, a local wood vendor in Niger State's Mariga local government area, has been mobbed to death in Kasuwan Galba over allegations of blasphemy against Prophet Muhammad. This incident took place in the nearby village of Iguama, where during her conversation with her nephew, she made controversial statements which didn't sit so well with the locals. This matter was handed over to the district head of Kasuwan Galba, and during the course of interrogation, she repeated this same controversial statements, and the district head handed her over to security personnel. Unfortunately, the security personnel were overpowered by the mob, and she was stoned to death. The local government area chairman, Abbas Adamu, has confirmed this incident and said that peace has been restored to the area. But let's take a look at reactions of Nigerians. We have a user, Ogi Godly Time, who says, this report says police could not shield the lady from the irate youths, but after they killed her, order has since been restored. It is how these people get their kind of rest after they have killed an innocent person. So no other punishment can be meted except death. Another reaction from an ex-user, Nelson Collins. To stop the recurring tragedy of mob killings over alleged blasphemy, Nigeria must embrace justice reforms and social reorientation. Government must ensure that any accusation of blasphemy is handled strictly by the courts, not the streets. Send a strong deterrent signal. The president should classify such killings as an act of terrorism, mandating security agencies to treat them with the same seriousness as insurgencies. Life must come before sentiment. Another ex-user with the handle Youth in Process said, tragic incidents like this show how fragile peace becomes when justice and fairness are absent. Get your PVC. I do totally condemn these acts. We have seen several cases like this swept under the carpet with no serious arrests being made. Emeka, what do you think about this? In 2025, we are still experiencing this.
A tragedy of monumental proportion, if you ask me, because this is one tragedy too many. Recall in the past, such a thing actually happened to Deborah in Sokoto.
Yes.
And of course, there was no decisive action against it from the government. So that's why it keeps reoccurring. All right, so it's quite sad. Such an occurrence shouldn't be having a place in a decent society such as ours. It's quite unfortunate. For me, I'm also looking at it from the angle. How did that particular victim get off the grief of the security operatives? For me,
I guess they were overpowered.
They were overpowered. That shows the failure of the system. The fact that, you know, those who should be in the position to protect our citizens are failing in their duties. I don't think that should be happening in Nigeria at this point in time.
If you thought that was all, hold on, because we have a shocker for you. Katsina State government is seeking to give graveyards a glow-up program. Katsina State government has confirmed that 20 million naira has been allocated to each 34 local governments in Katsina State for renovations of graveyards. Governor Diko Rada announced this on August 28, 2025 during a meetup with traditional rulers from Katsina and Daura Emirates. Let's take a reaction from an ex-user. An ex-user, Ezekwesiri, said, the dead, they live in luxury past the living for Katsina. I love this Netflix series. Then on IG, a user handle Bad Boy Code said, school renovation, no. Graveyard renovation, good. There are a lot of reactions of Nigerians on this, and I must say it is hilarious. But Emeka, I really have to ask you this. Do you think this is the kind of project that Nigerian government should be focusing on at this crucial time?
Theater of the absurd, if you ask me, because from all its indications, it's showing that Nigeria is galloping into what you call a theater, a classical example of what you could call the theater of the absurd, where abnormalities are now being normalized. Because I cannot understand, Shoma, that in 2025, in a state ravaged by insecurity, the next thing or the best idea that could occur to a governor is the building of cemeteries across the local governments of the states. How is that even possible? How does it make sense?
He called it a community service operation. It's a community service
Shoma,
move.
please.
And no, let me land, Emeka. in other countries, we see cemeteries being well constructed, properly taken care of, with flowers around it, in good condition.
Sure,
I don't see anything wrong.
You don't see anything
with the government
wrong.
catering for their
Sure,
dead.
please, governance is supposed to be local. You should put into considerations what the people in your local community want. If you ask the people in Katsina State today, Chioma, are you trying to tell me that the best thing that they want at this point in time will be cemeteries distributed along all the local governments of the state? Is it not the primary responsibility of the government to protect lives and property? I feel that in a state like Katsina, where insecurity is the order of the day, the next best thing the governor should do is has to strategize, working in synergy with the federal government to ensure that there is security of lives and property of the citizens of Katsina State, my dear. That's what I think. I think this is out of place. It's quite disheartening. It's quite disheartening.
Thank you for that. But he also launched a new welfare package for traditional and religious leaders, where their salary are up to the level of grade 16 salary. And so we should applaud him for that.
Should I applaud him for that? So where comes the place of the common man, the ordinary Castilians? What about their welfare? This is more or less an elitist project. You're upgrading the salaries of traditional rulers. What about the welfare of the ordinary, the mass of Castilian indigents? What happens to them? Nothing has been said about them. I don't see it's something worth commendable. I don't think so. Not at all.
Thank you for that. We'll follow that story as it unfolds. Moving on to another story. The price of passports have skyrocketed from September 1st, as announced by the federal government. The 32-page, which lasts for 5 years, has been increased to 100,000, and the 64-page, which lasts for 10 years, has been increased to 200,000. Keeping in mind that the minimum wage of an average Nigerian is 70,000 naira. So where does this leave us?
Interesting. That's a very good question. Where does this leave us? Because from all indications, what it's looking like is like, since this government came on board, is as if there's no temporary reprieve for Nigerians from the removal of fuel subsidy, of course, which skyrocketed the prices of fuel beyond the reach of the average Nigerian. Then you talk about the removal of tariff, the hike in both data and electricity, and now this. This is more or less removal of subsidy from the production of the production cost or the production of passports, and it has led to the price hike. I don't see how this makes sense, because I think the government in their defense earlier stated that they decided to hike the price because Nigerians were already paying higher while producing
through unofficial
means. Is it not the responsibility of the government to ensure that they block those loopholes, so that government is about problem solving, for heaven's sake? It would have been better, instead of just increasing the price just because people are paying more already through unofficial means. The best thing would have been to see how you block that loophole so that it doesn't happen.
Okay. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll dive in on more trends and more stories.
Imagine a beautiful world. That's our slogan at Kaftan TV. Hello there. I am Ruben Okala.
Hello, I'm glad to have you join us again on the News on the Hour, reaching you live from our studio in the nation's capital.
And that has been the news. Many thanks for watching. My name is Fatima Abbas Hassan. I'm the Kitchen Baba today.
I am Kiwi.
The politics of Lagos State is still very much in the hands of the leaders.
My name is Dayo Omogun. I've not done a change of name.
Adebayo Film and Theatre Arts Network.
We always dish out beautiful material.
From price hacks to another blow for Nigerians. On Saturday, an SDP-ADC coalition meeting was violently attacked by alleged political talks. Let's take a look at the reactions of Nigerians. An ex-user, handle Bishop Palata, says, how quickly life puts you on the receiving end of the stick. Power is indeed ephemeral. Another reaction from an ex-user, Gerard Sent, said, I don't condone wrongdoing, but he engaged in similar actions when he was in the ruling party and serving as a governor. So, Emeka, you know, as the saying goes, the same cane that is used for the first wife is usually used for the second wife. And what goes around comes around. When he was in the ruling party and he was being accused of violence and all that during election, I don't think he ever really spoke up. But I could see in some videos, he reacted and said violence is cannot just be monopolized. That he's trying to say they can also retaliate. What are your thoughts on this?
My thought is, I think these are worrying signs because as far as I'm concerned, Nigeria is a multi-party democracy.
Of course.
Yeah, and as such, and even the right to freedom of association is well entrenched in our constitution. And you see, such occurrences only goes to confirm the fears of many people that Nigeria is fast drifting into a one-party state, because I don't see any reason why this should be justified. And again, this is not about the man, El-Rufai. It's not about him. It's El-Rufai today. It's the ADC today, the SDP today.
It could be someone.
It could be someone else. So when we speak about issues like this, we should move away from emotions. We should look at issues on their own merits. For heaven's sake, Nigeria is still a multi-party democracy. I condemn this in all its entirety. I condemn it. We shouldn't be at this point in time.
Today in our Heartbeat News, we have popular TikToker Joyce Kalu helping a pregnant woman unable to pay a hospital fee of 28,000 naira. She saw the woman looking tired and walking in the streets of Abuja. She approached the lady and the lady told her her predicament.
Yes. Okay. How much did they ask you to go and look for? They said she gonna bring 28,000 for them to admit you, right? Can we go there? Can we go back to the hospital?
We can go back.
Okay.
They say it's on Friday that will come.
Okay, that she come back on Friday.
Yes. That is when they intend to go. But
Okay.
they ask you to go and collect later.
So all they ask you for is 24,000 naira.
28.
Let's take a look at reactions of Nigerians. From September Rose, she said, I'm so blessed to be a South African. Health care is free. Hope she gets help. This is so unfair. Other reactions, TikToker Great Patrick, I am crying. This is bad. Nigerian hospitals needs to stop this. This woman was in pain and they asked her to go get a letter. As the story unfolds, we noticed that this lady lost her twin pregnancy because the government hospital refused to attend to her without a letter from her former hospital where she registered for antenatal and without the fee of 28,000 naira paid. Emeka, who should we blame in this situation? Should we blame the system? Should we blame the pregnant woman for not preparing well? Should we blame the hospital for not taking her matter as an emergency and administering medications and helping her to deliver before bringing up the issue of money? What do you think about this?
I will blame the government and I will blame the hospital. Blaming the hospital first of all, because let me read quickly the first rule of medical care. Choma.
Okay.
The first rule, all right, is stated that the first rule in medical care, all right, is said in Latin is called primum non nocere, all right, that's first do no harm. Yeah, what this implies is that you have to prioritize the patient's safety first. Was that done? No, it wasn't done because we're talking about money. Please, from all indications, it's looking as if Nigeria is degenerating into what you could call the Hobbesian state of affairs, where life is solitary, poor, brutish, nasty, and short. I cannot imagine that because of
28,000
naira, we are losing, a woman loses her...
And two extra lives
just because of 28,000 naira. You heard one of the reaction from one of those,
yes,
from South African who said, healthcare is free.
Yes.
Why is it not possible? That's why this is where I'm coming to blaming the government now. Is it not possible that we have in Nigeria where healthcare will be free? Is it not possible? It's a sad one.
It's a sad
because
one.
all what this means, or what does this show, is that we don't have value. There's no... Where is our humanity? Where really is our humanity?
Moving on a lighter note, in entertainment news, Onyinyashi Basil from Anambra State has been crowned Miss Universe Nigeria 2025. This occurred in August 30th, 2025, where she beat 21 finalists to take the crown. She will represent Nigeria later on in Miss Universe 2025. That's all the time permitted for us today on Social Media Scoop. Catch us next time with the same vibe, catching all the balls on social media. Keep scrolling, keep engaging, and keep it moving. I am Chioma ABC, and this is Social Media Scoop. Thank you.